Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here with us today. As American demand for energy continues to grow, it is essential that our pipeline infrastructure is prepared to meet this need. Pipelines are critical for transporting oil, natural gas, and our other energy resources. My home state of Florida is a large producer of electricity and relies heavily on pipelines to deliver energy. So I appreciate your testimony and the discussion. Mr. Moriarty, I'd like to return to something you said just a few moments ago. You mentioned that one of the top risks you perceive for pipeline safety is, in fact, cybersecurity. Would you share with us a bit more about the cyber threat landscape you are seeing and how you're partnering with federal agencies like the FBI and CISA to meet that threat?
Thank you very much for the question. I guess what I would say to start with is because of the cyber threat, we took our SCADA system, which is responsible for the operations, safe operations of our systems. We took that off our corporate system and we put it into what we call a DMZ zone, which means nobody can get access to it. So even if there is a breach somewhere on our system, it won't get into the pipeline safe operation. Every day we have threats. We have a scoreboard where we see threats coming in real time. Because of the investments we have made, most of those are stopped before they become a real threat. However, if there is a threat, it is sequestered and then is studied by our team. And then we report that to the various authorities, the FBI and others, and we have briefings constantly with the federal partners to help us address this.
And Mr. Black, in your written testimony, you recommended the authorization of a voluntary information sharing program. In his confirmation hearing, FEMSA nominee Paul Roberti emphasized the importance of information sharing specifically on cybersecurity. Would you share with us more your perspective on that subject?
We have a great opportunity to do for pipelines what FAA has done to improve safety in aviation. In the 2016 pipeline reauthorization law, Congress said PHMSA should form a public advisory committee to come up with recommendations on how to develop this type of program. That work has been done, and it's ready for Congress to help authorize it. The benefit would be that pipeline operators, the safety advocates, and government could all talk about incidents and lessons in a safe space. So we're not concerned about antitrust violations. We're not concerned about that information getting out into the wrong hands. It's really been successful in aviation where pilots, machinists, anybody is able to get that information with the focus on improving pipeline safety. So if Congress can enact voluntary information sharing systems similar to what the advisory committee did, we will be able to do that type of a program that the NTSB and others will be cheering us on.
And I think it's important to explore something you just touched on, which is the concept of being able to share that kind of information in a safe space. Would you elaborate a little bit more on the types of things that can happen if we don't create an environment like that? For example, the information falling into the wrong hands and how that can exacerbate a vulnerability, or the other potential consequences you face if we don't have a clear framework for sharing that kind of risk or even breach or incident information.
So pipeline operators themselves maintain a lot of different programs for sharing information. We want to learn from an incident and get better across the entire industry. But there's a limitation right now in being able to have that discussion with government or to have the pipeline safety trust in the room. You want pipeline operators and anybody in the industry to be able to contribute that information and understand that that's going to be considered confidentially. It's not going to be misused against you in enforcement. There should be enforcement cases going on, but nothing in here should invoke that so that we can do safety. Right now, government isn't allowed to be a part of those discussions right now because they would have to put that information out on the street if asked. It's been successful in aviation. Let's do it for pipelines.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.